Hello, you bloody beautiful people. Thank you for coming back to Aging Gracefully. I am Matthew Essex. On the docket today is the 1988 release, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, by John Carl Buechler. For those of you who don't know, this is essentially what happens when you pit a masked psychopath who cannot be killed, has brute strength, and a very unpleasant disposition against a girl with telekinesis, essentially Carrie. Now, this movie is gotta be the biggest what if in this franchise because the basic premise is really, really cool. The execution leaves a lot to be desired. Essentially what happens is we get a flashback of a little girl listening to her parents arguing. She races out onto a boat to get away because she hears her father hit her mother, and the dad comes out to apologize. The little girl's not having it, and she collapses the dock above the lake that he is standing on, thus presumably killing him and burying him underneath the water. We flash forward and we are back to the lake. Tina, the little girl, all grown up, played by Lar Park Lincoln. Her and her mother are coming back to the cabin with Tina's shrink in order to hopefully have a breakthrough of some sort in her treatment. Now, Jason is still buried underneath the water due to the ending of Friday the 13th, Part 6. The miraculous godsend that was Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason lives. Tina has a bit of a breakdown when she gets there. The therapist is pushing her too hard. He's trying to exploit Tina's telekinesis to his own gain. He's videotaping all their sessions. He's trying to force her into the trauma that causes her to react in such a way. She basically comes out, senses some sort of a life in the lake, and with her powers resurrects him. Now, it's not her father she brings back. That would have been a much different movie. This is actually unstoppable zombie killing machine Jason Voorhees. If anything this movie gets right, it is the introduction of Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees. And that's no knock on anybody that played him in superior movies before, but Kane Hodder was meant to be Jason. I mean, he's just really good. He's a hulking, scary dude, and this is really his wheelhouse. The best sequence is the battle between Tina and Jason towards the end, but it feels like there's so much that could have been done that wasn't done. Why is her telekinesis being used for essentially magic tricks? You know, she's grabbing him with tree branches and knocking him over into puddles of water. Now, she does electrocute the guy, but this is Jason Voorhees. I mean, the best she does with her powers, aside from the climax of the film, is she drops a roof on this dude as he's out on the porch. Now, I know how heavy those things are, and you would think that would be able to pin this dude to the ground, but it just doesn't work. He is full-blown monster Jason. This is, if King Kong wore a hockey mask, that's the killer that we have in this movie. The best kill, I mean, the sleeping bag kill is historic. It's well known. Total amount of kills, I mean, the body count's pretty high in this one. We're at 18. That's the, if I'm not mistaken, that's the same amount that they had in 6, but 6 was a superior movie. Now, ratings-wise, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10, and I might be a little generous on that one. I don't think it ages gracefully. If it comes on television, I'm probably going to turn it off, mostly because I'm a fan of this franchise, and if I let it play a little bit, I'm probably going to sit down and watch it, and I'm just going to get disappointed all over again for what could have been. The concept, the idea, it was so good. Kane Hodder as Jason is so good, but it falls apart with the cast. It falls apart with the way the movie was filmed. There are some good performances in here. The doctor, you can't wait to see him go. But overall, it's a middling entry into this franchise, and it's really the start of a very depressing downturn for Friday the 13th. It doesn't really recover too much in the future. I mean, there's a couple of them that we're going to come up on that are entertaining, and I would highly recommend for the carnage and the chaos that a horror movie brings you. But aside from that, with Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, that's it. That's all. We'll see you guys on the other side.